My great people, today I want to do a nice video regarding the United Arab Emirates. Most people call it the UAE. The capital city for the United Arab Emirates is Abu Dhabi. Yes, so United Arab Emirates is a member state of the Gulf Cooperation Council. In short form, we normally call it the GCC. So the UAE is one of the members of the GCC, and the United Arab Emirates comprises the following independent sheikdoms. Kindly listen carefully, take your pen and paper as I take you through the UAE, because we have got many cities in the UAE. Most people know only Dubai and Abu Dhabi, but we have got many cities in the UAE, or sheikdoms. They are normally called sheikdoms. So one of the independent sheikdoms is Abu Dhabi. Note that. The other one is Ajman. That is the second sheikdom. The other one is Dubai. That is the third sheikdom. We have got Fujairah, the fourth sheikdom. We have got Ras Al Khaimah. Ras Al Khaimah. Yes, that one is another sheikdom in the UAE. We have got Sharjah, and we have got Al Qawain. I can repeat the sheikdoms. Remember, these sheikdoms in the UAE, they are normally independent. They are headed by sheikhs. That is why they are called sheikdoms. Yes. So let me start again regarding the sheikdoms so that you can take note of that. The first one is the Abu Dhabi, and Abu Dhabi is the capital city of the United Arab Emirates. Yes, the other city or the other sheikdom is Ajman. The spelling for Ajman is A-J-M-A-N. Ajman. Then we have Dubai. Then we have Fujairah. Then we have Ras Al Khaimah. Then we have Sharjah and Al Qawain. Al Qawain. Those are the 6 sheikdoms in the United Arab Emirates. Most passengers that have seen traveling to the UAE normally go to Dubai or Abu Dhabi. Yes, there are many people who work in Dubai from all over the world. Dubai is like a no man's land. Dubai is a sheikdom in the United Arab Emirates. Yes. So, we will go to the document validity. What are the requirements for your document to go to United Arab Emirates? You could be traveling either to Dubai, you could be going to Sharjah, you could be going to Abu Dhabi. Most of the times, those are the most common cities or the sheikdoms that people travel to. Because we have got like Air Arabia that goes to Sharjah, we have got Emirates Airline that goes to Dubai, we have got Etihad Airways that goes to Abu Dhabi. Yes, so mostly those are the 3 sheikdoms that people normally travel to, either to work or to visit. Mostly Dubai people go for tourism, and we have got many people who work in Dubai from all over the world, from Africa and other places in Europe. So, passports and other documents accepted for entry must be valid for a minimum of 6 months from the arrival date. Take note of that. 6 months from the arrival date. Nationals of the United Arab Emirates are allowed to enter with an expired passport. So if you are national of the UAE, you have got a UAE passport, you can enter with an expired passport. But remember, when you have an expired passport and you are transiting through other countries, because countries normally have different rules and regulations of entry and transit, be very careful. You might be denied at transit. But anyway, if you are allowed to transit in a country, you can enter your country with an expired passport. This I mean to the nationals of the United Arab Emirates. Yes, take note of that. If you have a UAE passport, you can enter with an expired passport. For example, if you are coming from the US and you are national of the UAE using Emirates Airlines, you can fly to Dubai or Abu Dhabi or anywhere in the UAE with your expired passport. But I normally prefer, instead of those many things, always have a valid passport. But in case of anything, anyway, you are allowed to enter. Remember, rules keep changing. Today you could be allowed to enter, tomorrow rules can change. But as we speak now, you can enter. It has been like that for a long period of time. There is another time I remember, nationals of the USA could enter the US with an expired passport. And then that rule changed. So rules keep changing. And what I can advise you, because I'm your travel expert, in case you want to travel anywhere and you are in doubt, because rules keep changing. There are some rules that change monthly, some change after some years, some change after 6 months, some after 3 months, some stay for a long time without changing. Before you travel somewhere that you are not very sure, you can always ask me a question on that video. For example, this video that I'm doing today, today in the month of April 2025, maybe after 6 months, things can change. Maybe after 1 year, things can change. And because I'm your travel expert, you can always ask a question. You can post any travel question regarding that country up in that video in the comment section. And I shall always give you an updated reply. And I know you are going to enjoy. Then about the validity, nationals of the United Arab Emirates traveling without a passport must have a document accepted for entry valid on arrival. If you are traveling with anything else that can be accepted to enter the UAE, and you are UAE national, this one is not about the visitors. We are still in the UAE nationals. If you are traveling without a passport, the document that you are using that is accepted for entry must be valid on arrival. This one cannot be accepted if expired. So by the time you are entering the UAE, the passport should be valid at least for that 1 day that you are entering. That is an advantage if you are a UAE national. The number 3, passports issued to nationals of Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia must be valid for the period of intended stay. Remember the nationals that I've read right now, yes, the Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, they are also members of the GCC. So Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia are also members of the GCC together with the UAE. So note that. And the other point, number 4, passports and other documents accepted for entry issued to residents of the United Arab Emirates must be valid on arrival. Remember, a resident is someone who lives somewhere and they are not nationals of that country. For example, there are people who work in Dubai. Maybe you have a US passport, you have a UK passport, but you work in Dubai, or you are married in Dubai, and you have your US passport and a Dubai or a UAE residence permit. That is what we call a resident. So if you are a resident of the UAE, maybe you work in Abu Dhabi, you work in any sheikhdom in the UAE, and you have a residence permit. Your documents must be valid on arrival. You cannot enter with expired documents like the UAE national. Take note of that. Nationals, the other point, number 5, nationals of Sudan are allowed to enter with an expired passport and a sticker extending its validity. So, if you are national of Sudan, and remember this is not South Sudan, because we have got 2 countries called Sudan. We have South Sudan, a very different country, and we have got the Republic of Sudan. So, if you are a national of Sudan, you are allowed to enter with an expired passport and a sticker extending its validity. So they can stick something in the passport extending the validity. You cannot enter with an expired passport without an extension sticker. Take note of that. Nationals of Ukraine are allowed to enter with an expired passport and a sticker extending its validity. Take note of that. A stamp is also accepted if they are residents of the United Arab Emirates or if the passport is extended from an embassy of Ukraine. So take note of that. If you come from Ukraine, take notes. You can keep repeating the video and listening to what I've said. The other thing, admission and transit restrictions. Yes, number 1, Passengers must have a travel document with the gender, female or male, to enter and transit. Remember, sometimes nowadays, because of what is going around about the LGBTQ and all that, there are some passports that normally don't have a gender. There are some countries that allow people to choose either to remain without a gender because of their own or by choice. But now for the UAE, because remember the Arab, they honor the female and the male gender. So if the passport does not have a female or male gender on the passport biodata, they cannot enter or transit. So this goes even to the document checkers. Remember to check that. If you check on the biodata page, where we have got the biographical information of the passenger, the photo, the date of birth, the place of issue, the expiry date, and whatever, the gender must be either F or M. F standing for female, M standing for male. And sometimes the passport control offices of various countries make mistakes, by the way. You can go to a passport control office to take a passport and they make a mistake. You are a female and they mistakenly type M. That one is a human error or a machine error. Remember, before you come out of the passport control of any country, for example, you could be going to the Kenyan Immigration Department that issues passport. Check whether on the biodata page it is F if you are a woman or a female. It is normally written M or F. Short form, either F for female or M for male. Ensure that, because I've seen passengers coming to the airport with the passports with wrong gender mistakenly. Always check that. If there is a problem, they can reprint it. Going to the US and other European destinations, they are not normally very strict with that. But for the countries in the Gulf, not only the UAE, even when you are going to Saudi Arabia or Oman or Bahrain or Kuwait, those countries in the GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council, and I told you there are 6 countries. You can not, there are the 6 Arabian countries. You can not enter with the wrong gender. If you are M and by mistake or by error the gender is F. For example, you are male and the gender erroneously is written F or female, you cannot go. And if you dare go, they normally return and they find the airline that take you there. So be very careful of that. Yes, because now it is very frustrating for you to travel and then you are brought back and then the airline is fined. So if you are checking the documents, the gender must be F or M. You cannot do XX. There are some countries nowadays that are doing XX because some people choose to be genderless. For the UAE, my dear one, it has to be F or M. So if you are genderless, don't go to the UAE, to any city of the UAE. I think that one is very important. And then the other one, passengers are not allowed to transit through the United Arab Emirates to Sudan. So you cannot go through to the UAE to Sudan. So you are transiting maybe from the US, maybe via Dubai or Abu Dhabi to go to Sudan. That is not allowed. That is their rule. Remember, many countries have got different rules, and that is their choice. So that one is a very nice one to note. This does not apply to residents of the United Arab Emirates. If you are a resident of the UAE, it is okay. For example, I could be working in the UAE. Maybe I have a Kenyan passport and a residence permit for the UAE. That one I can transit via UAE to Sudan. Or maybe I'm a Sudanese. I have got a residence permit of the UAE. I'm passing through UAE, in Sheikh Dome. Maybe I'm passing through Abu Dhabi. I'm passing through Sharjah or even Dubai. I can transit as long as I'm a UAE resident. I talked about the residents there before. Yes. For the crew members, nationals of the United Arab Emirates arriving on Emirates Airlines the United Arab Emirates. No, Emirates Airlines is normally short form EK. Sorry, I made a mistake. Let me repeat that one for the crew members. Nationals of the United Arab Emirates arriving on Emirates Airlines or EK with a crew ID card and a general declaration form. So that one is okay. So for the military, because there are people who travel as military officials, the passport is not required for nationals of the USA with a military ID. I have seen people, but anyway, the good thing anyway, it is very hard for someone to come all the way from the USA without a passport. But even if you don't have a passport and you are going there as a military officer, you can go with your military ID. That one is a rule for the UAE. And they must be registered. You must register before departure at www.smartservice.ica.gov.ae. Yes, but it is normally very hard to see someone traveling without a passport. I normally prefer, even if you can travel with your military ID because you are traveling on duty and you have the military orders, it is good to have your passport because you could go to the UAE and then visit another place. So anyway, you can enter with your military ID. Additional information for you people. Passengers with dual nationality must arrive and depart with the same passport. So, if I have a US passport and a Kenyan passport, and I arrived in Dubai or Sharjah or anywhere in the UAE with a US passport, I must depart with the US passport. So, if you are dual nationality for the countries that allow dual, you must arrive and depart the UAE with the same passport. Another thing that is warning, they normally give warning just to make sure that you are right. Passengers with a handwritten passport are not allowed to enter. Formerly, there were countries that issued handwritten passports, but now with the technology that is advancing, I do not see those passports. But in any case, if you have a handwritten passport, you are not allowed to enter. Meaning, if your passport expired and then extended by hand, if your passport, for example, I have maybe a US passport or maybe an Afghanistan passport or whichever passport, and then it is manually extended, the expiry date is extended manually, that one cannot also enter. Remember, for the extension sticker, there are some countries that I read there before and I'm not going to repeat because I know you can watch and rewatch that video. But for any other nationality with an extension that is handwritten or in sticker form or anything, you can not enter. Your passport must be machine readable and it must be valid for 6 months from the arrival date. That one is very good to note. Travel documents accepted for entry must include a photo of the passenger. Yes. Remember, there are some, but it is very rare to see a passport without a photo. But anyway, to enter the UAE, your travel document must have your photograph. Don't forget that. If you don't have the photograph, don't go to the UAE. Nationals of South Sudan, now this one is South Sudan, with a business passport are not allowed to enter. Remember, different countries issue different passports. Like in China, we have got a passport called the Public Affairs Passport. Some other countries don't have that. In Kenya, we have got diplomatic, service, official. Even in the US, we have got diplomatic passports. Those people who work as diplomats. We have got official passports. So we have got different passports for different countries. So for Sudan, they normally issue a business passport. Don't try that with UAE. Nationals of Argentina, Austria, and France with an emergency passport must have a confirmation that their entry has been approved before departure by the immigration, in addition to a visa. So with an emergency passport, listen to what I'm gonna repeat because I don't want you to make a mistake. Nationals of Argentina, Austria, and France with an emergency passport must have a confirmation that their entry has been approved before departure by the immigration, in addition to a visa. Yes, let's continue. Visitors with validity in their passports extended with a sticker or a stamp are not allowed to enter. I said that earlier. So, because there are some people who normally get their passports expired and then they are extended by hand manually or by a sticker. No, you have to take another passport. This does not apply to nationals of Sudan and Ukraine. For Sudan and Ukraine, they can enter with a passport that is expired and manually extended with a sticker or by hand. Those are the only exemptions. Ukraine and South Sudan. And I had read that before. Nationals of Syria with an extension sticker or a stamp issued in their passport after 1st of May 2017 are not allowed to enter. That one I know you have noted. The other one, names in the travel documents must contain at least 2 words. Yes, names in the travel documents must contain at least 2 words. Let me continue. This one is not, most of the time many passports are okay. So let me continue. The date of birth format in travel documents must be day, month, year. For example, January 1980. Yes, you can see January, 1st of January, 01, and then Jan, Jan, then 1980, or 01 hyphen 01 hyphen 1980. Then, travel documents with an incomplete date of birth, e.g. 0000. Okay, there are some people by there I have seen this one with Somali national sometimes. In the date of birth, they only write the year. For example, you can see, instead of writing 1st of January 1980, they can write XX hyphen SX hyphen 1980. That one is not acceptable. It has to have the day when you are born, the month indicated clearly, and the year. So if your date of birth is XX, maybe because you don't know your mother didn't know exactly when you are born, or someone who took their passport did not know when they are born, they just put XX or they put dash and then the year. That one you cannot be accepted to enter the UAE. Stateless persons and refugees with a visa must have a travel document that is matching the travel document type mentioned on the visa. By the way, whenever you are going anywhere, even if you are going to Dubai, because most of the time people traveling to Dubai, they apply their visas online. So mostly you apply online and then you print out the visa in the cyber. So you carry the sheet of paper. Remember, the details on that visa must match with the details on the passport or on the travel document, even if you are not a refugee. Always, even when you are going to India or anywhere, the visa details, whether it is a sticker visa or the online visa that you apply online and then you print in the cyber, the details on the visa must match with the details on the passport or the travel document. National ID cards, for national ID cards for the UAE, whatever, for example, the Emirates ID, yes, issued by the United Arab Emirates are not accepted in digital form. So the national ID must be physical. But now this one, the national IDs are normally issued to the nationals of the UAE. That one I don't think it is very hard. Yes. Nationals of Bangladesh, Egypt, India, Pakistan, Sudan with a single entry tourist visa must have a hotel reservation confirmation. So if you are national of those countries, Bangladesh, Egypt, India, Pakistan, and Sudan with a single entry tourist visa. Because the tourist visas, some are normally double, some are multiple. The best one is the multiple entry visa. If you have got a single entry visa, this applies to you. You must have a hotel reservation. And how do you know whether it is a single, double, or multiple? It is normally very well indicated. Single, double, or multiple. So if it's a single visa for those countries, you should have a confirmed hotel reservation. The other one is the visa exemptions. Who does not need a visa? The nationals of the United Arab Emirates, because that one is their country. The other people who don't need a visa, nationals of Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia, and the Kuwait. But for the Kuwait, you know all those countries that I'm reading now, in number 2, number 1 was the nationals of the UAE. Remember, the UAE is the GCC. Number 2, the nationals of Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Those are also in the GCC. The Gulf Cooperation Councils. Those are sister countries. And then the nationals of Kuwait, which is also a member of the GCC. But there is a condition for the nationals of Kuwait. This does not apply to passengers with a passport issued by Kuwait with an Article 17 stamp. So if you are Kuwait, you are from Kuwait, but your passport issued by Kuwait has an Article 17 stamp, you cannot, you have to have a visa. But if you have a normal Kuwaiti passport, all the GCC countries, they can enter without a visa. Number 4, nationals of Albania and Mexico with a normal passport for a maximum stay of 180 days. 180 days is equivalent to 6 months. Nationals of Argentina, Azerbaijan, Bahamas, Barbados, Belarus, Belgium, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Brazil, Bulgaria, Chile, Colombia, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia or Czech Republic, Denmark, El Salvador, Estonia, Finland, Georgia, Greece, Honduras, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Kiribati, Korea Republic, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Maldives, Malta, Montenegro, Nauru, Netherlands, Norway, Peru, Poland, Portugal, Romania, San Marino, Serbia, Seychelles, Slovakia, Slovenia, Solomon Islands, Spain, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Sweden, and Uruguay for a maximum stay of 90 days. So that is 3 months. You do not need a visa. The other one that does not need a visa, nationals of Israel for a maximum stay of 90 days. Their passport must be issued with a validity period longer than 1 year. So if the validity period for the Israeli passport is less than 1 year, you cannot go. That is a condition. Let me repeat that condition. Nationals of Israel for a maximum stay of 90 days, their passport must be issued with a validity period longer than 1 year. The other one, nationals of Ecuador, Fiji, and Kosovo Republic for a maximum stay of 90 days. Nationals of Armenia, Australia, Austria, Canada, Costa Rica, France, Germany, Japan, Paraguay, Russian Federation, Singapore, Switzerland, and the USA with a normal passport for a maximum stay of 90 days. I can repeat about the normal passport. That is the normal passport or regular or ordinary that is given to normal people that are not diplomats, that are not government officials. For you and I mostly, I know we have the normal passport. So you can enter for 90 days. If it is a diplomatic passport, don't try that. So, nationals of Andorra, Brunei Darussalam, Ireland, Republic, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Mauritius, Monaco, New Zealand, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, and Vatican City. Vatican City is normally called the Holy See. Yeah, you can call it either Vatican City or the Holy See. Let me spell the Holy See. Holy, H-O-L-Y, Holy, the name Holy, and then C, S-E-E, E for egg. So S-E-E, Holy See, with a normal passport for a maximum stay of 30 days. Passengers with a British passport with a nationality British citizen for a maximum stay of 90 days. Nationals of China's People's Republic with a normal passport for a maximum stay of 90 days. Nationals of Guyana with a normal passport for a maximum stay of 90 days. Passengers with a Hong Kong SAR China passport for a maximum stay of 30 days. SAR means Special Administrative Republic. Because anyway Hong Kong is a Special Administrative Republic of China, though they have their own passport. Remember, Hong Kong passport is even more powerful than a Chinese passport. A Hong Kong passport can enter many European territories without a visa. They have got more rights, by the way. So, that one is very nice to note. And then we have got passengers with Macau China. Remember, Macau is also another special administrative republic of China, but have their own passport. So if you are national of Macau, you can enter for a maximum stay of 30 days. Nationals of Mongolia for a maximum stay of 30 days. Nationals of Canada and Russian Federation with a diplomatic passport for a maximum stay of 180 days. So for Canada, diplomats can enter. Do you know why there are normally differences between the diplomatic passport and the normal passport? If countries do not have good diplomatic relations with other countries, they do not allow diplomatic passports from those countries. That is why you see their specifications. Like now you see for Canada, they can enter. Not all diplomats can enter. And I don't think I'm going to read about the diplomatic passports, because most of the time, when someone is traveling for diplomatic mission, the governments are normally involved. So they normally know the rules. But by the way, there's a time I saw a diplomatic passport. I saw a US diplomat traveling on a particular, I'm not going to mention the flight, many years back in my former company. I was working for a flight that used to go to Abu Dhabi, and a diplomat from the US with a diplomatic passport was traveling to Abu Dhabi. Remember, Abu Dhabi is in the UAE, and they were traveling to visit. That one is not allowed. We offloaded, because remember, they were going for a touristic visit using their diplomatic passport. Good enough, most of the time when someone has a diplomatic passport, they also sometimes normally have the normal passport. So when you have a diplomatic passport, also have the normal passport, because not all the time a diplomatic passport can be allowed to go to a particular country. That one depends, and rules keep changing. When countries become friends, maybe they start trading together, they have good political friendship, you find that they allow diplomatic passports of particular countries to their country. So be very careful. Even when you are a document checker, do not assume that because someone is a diplomat, they have got more rights. Sometimes you can clear them and the airline can be heavily fined. Yes, so that one is very, very good to note. I don't know whether I can give some of the passports for the diplomats. Like for example, for Albania, Algeria, Austria, Brunei Darussalam, Burkina Faso, Chad, Central Africa Republic, China's People Republic, Costa Rica, Cuba, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Ethiopia, France, Gabon, Germany, Ghana, Grenada, Guinea, India, Indonesia, Jamaica, Japan, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Malaysia, Mali, Mauritius, Mexico, Morocco, New Zealand, Paraguay, Rwanda, Senegal, Singapore, Suriname, Switzerland, Tajikistan, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Vanuatu, Vatican City of the Holy See, and Vietnam with a diplomatic passport. So for those that have led, those are diplomats. If you have a diplomatic passport, ensure that you only use it for diplomatic purposes. So be carrying your normal passport together with you. So in case there is any problem, you can solve it immediately. For example, those nationals that were traveling that time many years back with the US diplomatic passport to the UAE, we offloaded because they did not carry their USA passports. I'm not going to continue with the diplomatic passports because that one will be too long, because diplomats normally know the rules and they are normally sent by their government to represent them in foreign missions. So what now we can also talk about, because it is good to know, we can talk about the transit without a visa. Who can transit via Dubai without a visa? Who can transit via Sharjah, anywhere in the UAE? Remember I told you Dubai, Sharjah, all those sheikdoms are in the United Arab Emirates. That is why they are called sheikdoms that came together, they made the UAE. So UAE have got those 6 sheikdoms. Who can transit without a visa? Passengers with a confirmed onward ticket for a flight to a third country within 24 hours. They must stay in the international transit area of the airport and have documents required for their next destination. Take note of that. So I'm not going to continue with so many things, because for the merchant seamen, because there are people who travel as seamen to go and work in the cruise, or to go and work in the sea or in the ship, Those one I'm not gonna read because most of the time they normally have got they normally get the information from their agencies who are helping them. Yeah, and they normally know the rules. For the merchant seamen, I'm not gonna read about that, but I can talk about the crew members. Crew members, for example, those who work in the flights. Visa not required if listed on general declaration. Remember when I talked about Russia and India, I talked about the general declaration. The general declaration or the GENDEC is that declaration where all the names of the crew are written who are operating in that flight. Yes. So if your name is in the GENDEC, and that one you don't have to worry because anyway, it's going to be taken care of by the airline that you are handling. So don't mind. There is something else that we call visa issuance. Yes. E-visas. You remember an e-visa is an electronic visa because sometimes you can apply a visa electronically online without going to the embassy. For the Dubai visas for visitors, they are normally issued online. Even for people going to work anyway, for the first time that you are going to work in Dubai, you normally apply for the visa is normally issued electronically, but later when you go there, you get a residential permit. So visa issuance. If visas can be obtained before departure, yeah, please apply before departure at https smart.gdrfad. I don't think it is good to read that. I don't think it is very important to read that site because when you go online to your browser, you can type the Dubai visa online and it can bring you the link. Let me not tire you with that one because it is very, very long anyway, and I don't want you to be confused. Passengers must have a printed e-visa confirmation. I have seen people, by the way, in the airport panicking. Remember, the document checkers and the immigration officials in various airports are not the same. You can find someone and you have an online visa that you have not printed in a soft copy and they forgive you to travel. And they tell you when you arrive in maybe Dubai or Sharjah or maybe Abu Dhabi, you print it in the airport. But sometimes you can get stuck. I've ever seen it. Someone is running helter-skelter because they have already checked in. Now they go upstairs and at the airline gate, at the boarding gate, they are told they must have the printed copy when to Dubai on any flight, by the way. Because now they have got a UAE online visa on soft copy. And sometimes, remember, systems can be down. No one can print for you the visa. And maybe you have already gone upstairs. You cannot go now again downstairs to go outside the airport to go and look for somewhere to print. So if you are using an online visa, by the way, print 2 copies to be safe. Have your hardy copies together with your the soft copy on your laptop or your phone. That one I think is not bad to note. And then there is something else. This does not apply to nationals of South Sudan with a business passport. The South Sudan business passport, they are not allowed to apply for the electronic visa. Yes, that one does not apply. So, nationals of India with a normal passport, for the visa issuance, I think I should repeat. It is good to repeat because most people normally use that option. Passengers must have a printed copy confirmation, and then for the visa issuance, that is number 1. Number 1.1, this does not apply to nationals of South Sudan with a business passport. Note that. Most of the time, I don't see those business passports. I've never even seen the business passport anyway. They normally have their number, so that one don't worry. And I know most of you do not have the business passport. So, number 2, nationals of India with a normal passport, valid for a minimum of 6 months from the arrival date, and a residence permit issued by a EU member state. EU member state means European Union member state. And I can mention 2 countries in the EU, just for your information. We have got like Germany, we have got like Italy, we have got like Spain. You know all the EU territories. You can go online and even type, and you can you can check the EU territories, the European Union territories. Ireland is one of them. Yes. So if you have got a residential permit, an Indian national with a residential permit issued by any EU member state, you can obtain a visa on arrival for a maximum stay of 14 days. So if you are an Indian, anyway, you have got an EU residential permit. Maybe you have got a residential permit issued by Germany, maybe by chance, or maybe by Ireland, or any EU member state. You can get a visa on arrival. You don't need to apply for a visa online. You can travel all the way to Dubai or to Sharjah or to wherever in the UAE, and they can issue a visa on arrival in that country. Yes. And then you can also apply to extend your stay for an additional 14 days or a maximum of 60 days. So this one is for the Indians. Take note of that. But you can also apply before departure. The visa, you can also apply for the same visa before departure. Anyway, if you want to apply at HTTPS, whatever we normally call it, what let me repeat. You can apply before departure at https://visa.vf/global.com/IND/EN/apply-visa. And the R that I read is ARE. Yes. So you can apply, but you can type online and you can get that link. Let me not confuse you. Nationals of India with a normal passport valid for a minimum of 6 months from the arrival date and a residence permit issued by the United Kingdom can obtain a visa on arrival for a maximum stay of 14 days. So Indians, you see, you are lucky if you have got a residential permit issued by the UK, because there are very many Indians by the way who live in the UK for a UK flight. They are you can apply, you can get a visa on arrival. That one is an advantage for you, and it is good to note that. Yes. So nationals of India with a normal passport valid for a maximum of 6 months from the arrival date with a permanent residence permit issued by the USA. This is normally called the green card. So if you are an Indian and you have a green card, by the way, you are also lucky, you can get a visa on arrival in the UAE. Yes. Yeah, if you have a green card, a valid green card. It is called a permanent residence permit or resident alien card. Either of them. Permanent resident or resident alien card from I-551. This is normally called a green card. So you can get a visa on arrival if you have that one, if you are an Indian. Nationals of India with a normal passport valid for a minimum of 6 months from the arrival date and a visa issued by the USA or an EU member state can obtain a visa on arrival for a maximum stay of 14 days. Indians, you are so lucky, my dear ones, and I love you so much. Indians are very kind. So you can get a visa on arrival if you have got a visa issued by the US or EU member state. So if you have a German visa, you have got a Italian visa, you have got a Belgian visa, you have got a USA visa, just a visitor visa, any kind of a visa, any visa, by the way, issued by those countries, USA or EU member state, you can get a visa. You can get a visa on arrival for 14 days, but you can also extend when you reach there. You can extend it an additional 14 days or a maximum of 60 days. So nationals of Bosnia and Herzegovina with a normal passport can obtain a visa on arrival for a maximum stay of 90 days. You must have a passport valid for a minimum of 6 months from the arrival date. That one is, by the way, for the 6 months you have to, for everyone. Nationals of Romania with a diplomatic. I'm not going to read about the diplomatic because I know diplomats normally know how to go about it. So, additional information for you, my dear ones. Valid visas in expired passports are accepted provided accompanied by a new passport. This is different from the Russian thing. Valid visa. Remember, in Russia, if the passport is expired, even though the visa is valid, you can't travel. But for the UAE, they are more user-friendly. A valid visa in an expired passport is accepted for entry, provided accompanied by a new passport to validate the old passport. Yes. So, Extension of stay is possible for an additional. Anyway, that one is not important. Minors under 18 years or old holding a tourist or family visa must be accompanied by a parent or guardian. By the way, it happens in the airport when you are going to maybe traveling to Dubai, maybe to Abu Dhabi. Some minors normally come alone or they come with a stranger. Remember, that one is not possible. If you are 18 years and you are holding a tourist or a family visa, please, you have to be accompanied by a parent or a guardian. And a guardian, remember, they must be legal guardians. Guardians who are legal to you, not your uncle, not your aunt, a legal guardian. Remember, a legal guardian, whether it is an auntie or an uncle, they must have gone through the adoption rights and they have got the documents proving that you are there. They are legal guardian to you or your parent. And how can you prove that one is your parent? Through the documentation. So do not forget that. People normally go to the airport with the friends. Maybe your parent is in Dubai and they send someone to come and take you to Dubai, or you are traveling alone. You cannot, and as long as you are a minor. Yeah, the UAE people are very kind. They want you to be safe. That one is good. Warning. Residents of the United Arab Emirates who stayed out of the United Arab Emirates for more than 6 months must apply for approval to return. Let me explain this, my dear ones. There are people who work in Dubai, for example. Some work in Sharjah. Yes, maybe you are a US resident, a US national. Maybe you are a UK national, a Kenyan national, a Grenada national, but you work in the UAE. You have got a residence permit. Then you exit the UAE or the United Arab Emirates. You go to your country or anywhere, and then you stay for more than 6 months before you go back to the UAE. That one is not valid. If you stay for more than 6 months, even if your residence permit is still valid, you must apply for approval to return. Because I have never seen that. By the way, for the GCC countries, most of them, if you stay outside for more than 6 months, even going to Oman, most of the GCC, you cannot go. Even Qatar, by the way. Because I also worked for a flight going to Doha. If you stay for more than 6 months and you are residents of that country, I'm not talking about the nationals, the residents, I'm talking about the residents. You have got your Kenyan passport, but you work in Qatar, you work in UAE, because Qatar is a different country. Qatar is a sister country to the UAE. But today we are talking about the UAE. If you stay for more than 6 months outside that country, you have got to apply for a return, approval to return. Never make that mistake. If you go without that one, you shall be returned. And in the airport, anyway, when they check and they find that you have overstayed, you cannot be allowed to travel. And the health, because all countries have got health, whatever, in our UAE, vaccination cards, not vaccination cards, vaccinations are not required. They do not require you to have a yellow fever certificate. They do not require you to have vaccinations. Yes. So for the pets and the whatever, and the cats and the dogs, I don't think it is very important for me to read or to teach you. But I think I should one day come with a detailed tutorial about pets, because there are people who travel with pets. Some are guided dogs, because remember there are some people who cannot travel without their pets. Some for emotional support, guided dogs or cats. Yes, for example, you have got to have an import permit or license or whatever, health certificate, lab-based vaccination. I'm gonna come with that differently. I do not want to tire you. I just wanted you to know about the visa requirements and the travel rules and the transit and the admission or whatever, the transit and admission rules, so that you can know what you require when you are going there. Remember, when you are going to visit in UAE, you have to have a return ticket. Do not forget that. Have your return ticket ready with you. Otherwise, you shall not be allowed to you can be even refused you can even be refused to travel in the airport. So before you fly, and I always prefer, for example, let's say you are coming from Kenya with Emirates Airlines. Kindly buy the ticket on the same return, on the same airline. It's more advisable instead of giving people the hard work to go and check that ticket in the other airline. Because there are some people who normally buy a ticket and then they buy a different return. Please buy on this. The best advice I can give you: have a return ticket on the same airline for you to make other people's work easier, and also to make your work easier. I think that is enough for today. If you have any questions regarding that country, the GCC, no, not the GCC, the UAE, you can ask me in the comment section. Remember, this is April 2025. Anything can happen. Changes do happen. They keep changing. Like, for example, many years back, Indians could not go with maybe the EU visa, maybe with the US visa, with the green card. But at some point, they imposed that Indians can go with the USA visa to the UAE. If they have a valid visa for USA, a valid visa for the UK, a green card for the US, a residential permit issued by the any European Union country, because rules keep changing. So before you fly, my community, you can pose a question regarding the UAE. In case there is any change, I will update you accurately. But remember, this information is not legal, but it is out of our experience and great research, and I can never mislead you. So thank you so very much for watching my video. Kindly subscribe, like, and share to your people. And remember, I love you so much. Keep safe in the airport. Do never leave your luggage unattended, because we have to be safe from our point of embarkation to the point where we are arriving. So thank you so very much. In case you have any query, do not hesitate to ask. Kindly watch all the whole video and subscribe. Bye.